Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our International Conference of Educators. Welcome to our Renzuli Institute. Hope everybody has arrived. I hear more are coming in. But this morning, I'm Joyce Miller from Texas, and we have Martina Brazzolotto from Italy, and Dr. Connie Phelps from Kansas. And our speaker this morning is Toni Kubousek from Renzuli Learning. We can call Toni, and she'll tell us more about how to correctly pronounce her last name. Toni, welcome this morning. Sit back, relax, everyone, and enjoy and benefit from this wonderful first presentation on the Renzuli learning system.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? It's so great to be with all of you again. I so enjoy these sessions. A little bit about Renzuli Learning. Hopefully you know it was created by Dr. Joe Renzuli, Dr. Sally Reese out of the University of Connecticut, and it's based on over 40 years of research. So it's a fabulous program. The main objective of Renzuli Learning is to provide students with opportunities to develop their own talents and their own gifts through differentiation, engagement, and enrichment. So I'm going to start. Every teacher has a student site. I encourage you, if you haven't logged into Renzuli Learning, I encourage you to go to your student site and complete your profile. The profile is what drives Renzuli Learning for each student. And a student can't even use Renzuli Learning until that profile is complete. And we're going to talk about that profile, and I'm going to show you how the kids take their profiles and how you as a teacher can even take your own profile. And then the magic that happens after that profile is complete. So I am at the teacher site right now. I'm logged in as a teacher, and up in the right-hand corner, I'll see my name with a drop-down menu. And one of the options is to go to student site. And when I choose go to student site, it will bring me to my student site. This was simulated for me. It doesn't belong to any student. It's just for me. It's just an opportunity for me to have the student experience in Renzuli Learning. And when you first log in, your homepage of a student will not look like this. This is the homepage of a student that has completed their profile. So notice that the student has three main tabs. They have the profiler, enrichment activities, and then my projects. Those are the main tabs on Renzuli Learning. So let's take a look at the profiler first. The profiler asks the students questions that are centered around their interest. What are they interested in? Science, math, social studies, art, music, technology, social action. What is their interest? And then their ability levels. How do they do in school in math and science, social studies, and language arts? And then expression styles. How do they like to express themselves? Do they like to do art? Do they like to do drama? Do they like to do oral presentations? How do they like to express themselves in relaying to you the knowledge that they have uncovered in their inquiry-based learning in Renzuli Learning? And then their learning styles, which is very important. How do students learn? Do I learn best by working in a group or independent? Maybe playing online games? Maybe I like to listen to lecture. Maybe I like to have discussion. So what are my learning styles? And once the student has answered all the questions in each one of these areas, they will get a completed profile. And this is what the profile looks like when the student has answered the last question in the survey. As you can see, our profile as well as the questions are available to teachers and to students in a multitude of languages from this drop-down menu. So if I go to Italian, it will change the results. It will change the narrative of my profile to Italian. So if students wanted to share this with their parents, they could print the Italian profile, and then it would, the parent would be able to read it along with the student. So let's take a look at the profile questions. If students are in kindergarten through 4th grade, their format of questions will look like this, these happy faces. And they'll just keep clicking the next button on the bottom of the page until they have finished the last question. And then the profile questions, the survey for grades 5 through 12 is our standard profiler. And this is where the student can choose the language that they would like to answer the questions. So if I go to Italian and I switch my profiler, now I am able to view my questions in the directions in Italian. And it's the same as the early childhood. I just keep clicking continue until I have finished the last question. And when I finish the last question, the profile will automatically pop up. The profile takes anywhere from 15 or 20 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on the student and also depending on the format that they chose. Student does not have to take the profile all in one sitting. If they leave the computer, they leave Renzuli Learning, it will remember where they left off, and when they come back, it will it'll take them to the correct page. So let's just real quick look at the profile. So my whoops, let me put that in English. My profile allows Renzuli Learning to be specific to what I'm interested in and how I like to learn and how I like to express myself. So as you can see, I love the way the profile starts. Toni is a 4th grade student, has special talents and gifts in school. And my top 3 interests are technology, history and social studies, and reading. And I learn best through learning games, discussion, and technology. And my product style, the way I like to express myself, is through audio visual, oral presentations, and technology. So this is what my profile looks like. And the beauty of this is that there is a video that the students can watch that drives their understanding of how to take the profile, what the profile is, and what do we do with the results. So I'm going to stop and ask if there's any questions or any translations that you might need at this time.
Buonasera a tutti, se avete domande potete farle pure in inglese o in italiano sul profiler, su quanto è stato detto finora.
All right, well, just stop me if you need to, that's fine. Just interrupt. So now the next thing that happens after the profile is complete is the students have an area called My Enrichment Activities, and all of these activities match my profile. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about is Dr. Joe Renzuli and Dr. Sally Reese's pedagogy, school-wide enrichment for all. And enrichment activities are an excellent place for students to be focused and to be have the opportunity for type 1s. So when a student goes into my enrichment activities, every one of those enrichment activities are aligned to my profile. They're in my interest, my learning styles, and my expression styles. So my enrichment activities is a great way for students to be introduced to new topics, to new things, to new people, to new ideas. And in addition, the enrichment activities does have a video as well that the students can watch. And it describes what the enrichment activities are, why, how do they match their profile, and all of that goes with that is in that video. Now, as you can see, the enrichment activities are divided up on the top by genres. So I have 270 virtual field trips. I have 142 creativity training, etc. And these numbers are going to be different for every student because it matches the student's profile. So let's pop into one of these. So every single one of these virtual field trips is a type 1, introducing the students to a new topic or a new person, or even a new idea, something you already knew, but you didn't think about it that way. So here are some fabulous virtual field trips. This is one of my favorite, the Statue of Liberty. So what a great way to introduce students or letting them explore and discover all of these incredible field trips. But this is truly one of my favorites, the virtual field trip to the Statue of Liberty. One of the great things is Joe and Sally believe that their research shows that students that are given opportunities to learn and to be exposed to new types of activities or virtual field trips, speakers, lawyers, doctors, plumbers, and then there'll be students that go, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Let me do some critical thinking about that. Let me do further investigative work. And that's what Joe and Sally call type 2s. Students using their abilities and their skills to develop creativity training and critical thinking by developing and finding more information on a type 1 that really excited them. And then hopefully it leads to a type 3, right? A product. So I'm going to share with you just a short story of how Renzuli learning affects kids. My grandkids, they've been on Renzuli learning since they were 4 years old. They are now 6 and 10 and 10. And they went on Ellis Island. And whenever I have them over, I always tell them family stories, family history. And I had told them that my dad came to the United States when he was 4 years old, him and his sister and his brother through Ellis Island from Italy. And they had remembered that. And so when they went to Ellis Island, they're like, is this where your dad was when he was 3? And I'm like, yes. So they started exploring Ellis Island. They started going all over and looking and navigating and finding out about the emergent or the hospitals and the lobbies and what people did, how they went through. And so they had taken that type 1, they had found the Statue of Liberty on their own in Renzuli Learning. They immediately made a connection with this virtual field trip. And so they started exploring and doing further investigative work by going into their search engine on Renzuli Learning and searching immigration in Ellis Island, even Italy. And then it actually led to a type 3. Now it doesn't always, but this it did. The 3 of them each did a monologue, and they dressed up as immigrants in the early 1900s. And they each told how they felt when they first put their feet on the floor or on the ground in the United States of America. So those are the kind of fantastic things that goes on with Renzuli Learning, is students understanding how everybody's different, everybody learns different, and finding something that really engage them, and then doing further investigative work. And then hopefully that leads to a type 3, which is some type of product for that. Their authentic audience was actually my brothers and sisters, which they were thrilled. They couldn't believe that the kids had done that and honored their grandfather in such a cool way. Little six-year-old, and actually Dylan was 5 and Marley and Gavin were 9 at the time. So type 1s are very powerful. Type 1s are what really get the juices flowing with your students. Also, in the enrichment activities, they're not only divided amongst genre, they're also divided amongst subject area. And this is pretty powerful as well, because students that may be like myself, not that gifted in math, I still have 1,279 math activities that match my profile. So Renzuli Learning looks at your students' strengths and builds up their weaknesses through their strengths. STEM and STEAM is brand new. We just added that this summer, and these are some amazing activities. How do water slides work? This is a great way to get ideas for you to introduce type 1s to your class. For example, let's say you want to introduce your kids to animal art. So as you can see, I can use this incredible activity for my whole class, or for 1 or 2 kids, or for a small group. But I'm able to show them something new, maybe they never thought about, animal art. And then you'll have those kids that grab onto that and go, wow, that is so cool. Let me do some more research on Renzuli Learning, so they can go up to their differentiated search engine. And type in animal art. And click search. And it will bring up more activities that match their profile that they can explore. Also in the search engine, students can search some of your focus words: diversity, inclusion. And the beauty of this search engine is the results match their profile. So here are some activities that match my profile. I have 4 creativity training, teaching tolerance, a unity wreath. How cool would that be to do this with your kids, to actively do this activity together, and then have your kids create a unity wreath with different cultures, even cultures within their own diversity, within their own school or in their own community. So as you can see, there are many, many ideas on how to find activities that centered around diversity and inclusion. And Connie had mentioned belonging, which is really important for kids to feel like they belong. And we'll focus on that as well. So here's some projects for the kids. The unity wreath. Tells you what you need, cultural unity wreath. So again, the enrichment activities are meant to be type 1s for your students. A lot of times teachers get bogged down and have so much going on that they don't have time to schedule speakers or field trips. Or with COVID, it was hard to do a lot of different types of type 1s. And that's where Renzuli learning really comes in handy. The students being able to find enrichment activities that are aligned to their profile, and you as the teacher using these activities to introduce your kids to new topics, whether it be focused on your theme of diversity and inclusion, or if it's something that they're learning in class to take a deeper dive. So I'm going to stop now, see if there's any questions on anything that we have looked at so far.
Avete domande? Sapete che potete provare a sperimentare questo Renzuli Learning System con i vostri studenti, quindi se avete domande, perché questa prima settimana riguarderà appunto lo sperimentare l'attività di tipo 1.
All right. And again, if you have a question, just stop me and I'll be more than happy to answer any question you might have in a timely manner so it's relevant to you.
Excuse me, can I just ask you the age? Maybe you told before, but I haven't heard the age. These activities are supposed to be for what kind of what is the age of the students? Thank you.
Renzuli learning is for pre-K all the way to high school. And when students take their profile and when they are registered, it automatically recognizes their age. So their activities are age and grade appropriate. So if a 4th grader is registered as a pre-K student, then they'll get more activities that are interactive and videos and less reading and more listening and doing. So it just depends on the age of the student. Great question. Anyone else? All right, I also, there's a couple of things I want to show you. I'm not going to get into projects today because that will be our 3rd session. Projects are type 3s. So we will get into that more on the 3rd session. But I did want to point out to you that students have a talent development portfolio. It's electronic, and everything they do in Renzuli Learning is saved and remembered. Also, students, teachers have can create virtual showcase rooms where students can upload their presentations into Renzuli Learning when they have completed their type 3s. And this has been very, very powerful. We have art teachers that use it. This is what it looks like to teachers and students, anyone that has access to Renzuli Learning. One thing that I do want to point out, when they created this showcase room, Renzuli, my immediate thought was every single one of these students' presentations is a type 1. Every one of them, right? Because, and not only are they type 1s, but they're type 1s that students are providing their peers. So this is one of the projects and research that we did. This is when my grandkids were younger, and we raised monarch butterflies.
No, he actually wants to knock it out. He's like, close it. He wants to stay. If he's not here in the, if he doesn't fly away in the morning, can we keep him?
So other students that are in my schools, that had access to that, I'm going to close that out, actually got in, started, I have a group of couple of schools that I work with, and they saw that, and the first thing that they wanted to do was to start researching monarch butterflies. I'm having a hard time logging back in here. Sorry about that. So that is what I really enjoy the most. I love watching the kids' presentations. Some kids just videotape. Some kids use TikTok and do a TikTok, or they use Instagram to put in the special effects, and then they upload it into Renzuli Learning after they've completed it. But again, it's just a great way for you to provide your students with type 1s, and the kids are driving the instruction. Another great thing too is if you're working around your themes of diversity and inclusion and belonging, maybe you could have work with groups of students and have them do a presentation and upload that into a virtual showcase room so other students are able to see what each of the groups have participated in. All right, so before I leave the student site, I'm going to ask if you have any questions. Remember that the first thing the student has to do is complete their profile. Once they complete their profile, they have hundreds of enrichment activities or / type 1s that match the results of their profile. They also have a differentiated search engine where they can do searches, either taking a deeper dive, finding out more information, or maybe you have provided them words that you would like for them to search and find results in Renzuli. All right, any questions? All right, so I'm going to pop back over to the teacher site, and I'm going to do that by going to my name in the right-hand corner, clicking the drop-down menu, and I'm going to go back to student or the teacher site. I'm not sure. Let me see if they haven't finished the Italian yet. Okay, I just wanted to check. They're working on adding Italian to the one of the languages that Renzuli will be in. All right, so the teacher site. The teacher site, the first thing I just want to demonstrate for you is some housekeeping about the teacher site. And then our main focus today is going to be teachers finding type 1s activities to share with their students and introducing them to new topics or focusing on your themes. The first thing I want to demonstrate in the teacher site is everything is a drop-down menu. So nothing gets lost in Renzuli. On the left-hand side is the course by the University of Connecticut. I know some of you, I don't know if you've taken this yet, but I know last session, many of the participants finished the course offered by the University of Connecticut, hosted by Dr. Joe Renzuli and Dr. Sally Reese. On the right-hand side is the free Renzuli Home Edition. This allows you to use it with your own children. If you have children of your own and you want to put them on Renzuli Learning, all you have to do is register for the Home Edition. And then you can maybe your nieces, nephews, etc. We have the Sabichi test of creativity. We actually have school districts that use this to measure underpopulated areas. We have a district in New Jersey that purchased Renzuli Learning just for the Sabichi test of creativity. This test measures the students' fluency, their flexibility, their originality, and elaboration. And it's done all through a flower game. So students do not even realize that they're taking an assessment because it's a game for the kids. Also, on the teacher site, we post weekly lesson ideas. This is a phenomenal way to find type 1s for your students. For example, this week is Reading Across America 2022. And each one of these activities are from kindergarten all the way to high school. And it's a great way for you to introduce books and literature to your students through using Renzuli Learning and introducing them as type 1s. So let's see how this works. What do we have here? Beginning sounds for cat in the house story elements. Some of our activities are PDFs where you can print them and use them in small group instruction with your kids. This is teaching the kids story elements. But every week we post new ideas to get your kids up and going with Renzuli Learning. Sometimes it's current events, what's going on, and sometimes it's just creativity training, our best creativity training or critical thinking ideas. This was one of my favorites, Valentine's Day, but they were all STEM and STEAM activities. So those are the types of things, instead of just making the kids making cards in the classroom, give them a purpose, right? Using STEM and STEAM activities to celebrate a holiday. This is Explore the World from Your Computer, Black History Month, videos and podcasts. So creativity, So all of this is just a great way for you to find type 1s to use with your kids that that are easy to find, that you don't have to go digging for. Also on the teacher site, my students, when you go to my roster, these will be a list of all of your students that are currently using Renzuli Learning that you're working with. It's a way for you to see at a glance who has finished their profiles, when was the last time they logged in, how many lessons, projects, and assignments that they're working on. I love the live student activity ticker. You can just click that on and it'll show where your kids have been and are going in real time in Renzuli Learning. So you can monitor what they're doing in Renzuli Learning. So I see Ben logged in. He worked on create his project, create comics. So this is, you're able to see what the students are doing at a glance. Now I want to show you as the teacher, how you can find type 1s for your kids. Maybe you want to find some type 1s on something that they're studying in school. Maybe already, maybe it's something that has to do with world history or climate change or recycling. Maybe you want to look for something within the theme of diversity and inclusion and belonging. But I'm going to show you some ways that you can find some amazing activities introducing your kids to new books, to classic literature, to debating. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the Teach tab is where all the curriculum lives in Renzuli Learning. So when you're looking for an activity, or you want to build a lesson, or send an assignment, or look at our type 3 projects, you do that from the Teach tab. But we're going to go to the search engine first. And I'm going to give you some of my favorite searches and many activities that I have used as type 1s with my kids. So the first one I want to show you is called Ology, O-L-O-G-Y. If you just type that in, you don't have to use any of the filters. You just put in Ology and click search. And this is hosted by the American Museum of Natural History. And I have not found a child that did not absolutely love this site. This is a fabulous type 1. I let the kids pick out their ologies. Look at all of these incredible activities for the students to do. But what I think I love the most about these activities, let's say I'm really interested in the brain. What I love most is they offer up the students different ways to learn. For example, maybe some kids like to play learning games. Maybe some kids like to read stories. Maybe some kids would like to do hands-on activities. And then maybe some kids would like to watch videos. So this is just a fabulous way for you to introduce some type 1s to your, using type 1s for your students. And what I love about them is you can share them. So you can actually send this site to your kids by clicking share, choosing the students you want it to go to, and clicking submit, and each one of your students will receive that activity in their inbox. How about if you're teaching weather? Make your own weather station. You could have a group of kids that create a wind vane. Or maybe another group of kids creating, whoops, a
Sorry,
rain
Toni.
vane. Yes,
Sorry, Toni, we have a question for you.
absolutely.
Sorry, and what age for these activities do you suggest us? Maybe, I don't know, for second grades or?
Yes, I've even done this particular one with the weather with 6th graders. So 12, 13 years old. I put them in groups and they created wind vanes and rain gauge and barometers.
And the first one on ology?
Yeah. Oh, the first one, the ology.
Yeah.
Let me go back and just find that. Gosh, I would say you could use that from kindergarten all the way to probably 6th or 7th grade. Because the topics are, whoops, I went to the wrong one. Let me go back. Close that out. There we go. My mouse is jumping all over the place. And the reason being is that there's many middle school students that are really interested in climate change or anthropology. And it's a great way for them to see it in different modes of learning, reading a book, listening to a video. So I would say all, most grades other than late middle school and high school would benefit from this. Biodiversity, how cool is that? I mean, I am going to turn my camera off for a minute. I think it's lagging what I'm trying to do on Renzuli. So I'm going to close that out. Here we go. So biodiversity is the rich variety of life on Earth. There's variety in genes, variety among species, and a variety of ecosystems. Everything is interconnected or dependent. So this would be great for your diversity. Not only we're all diverse, even our Earth is diverse, right? So this is hands-on. And then videos. Now I actually, I don't know if I can find it. No, that's not it. I added this for my grandkids, the text to read.
Human cultures, Earth and space, biodiversity.
So if it's something they're
biodiversity?
younger and they can't read it, then I downloaded that. And I also downloaded the translation button. Let's see if I can find it. Yes.
Sorry. Could you show again how to match the age of students and the grade and maybe the theme, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
This ology, when I open it up, it tells me the grades right here. Grades and challenge levels from 3rd grade to 9th grade.
But maybe you can match using Renzuli learning system. You can match themes, age. Yes, here. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, when the student searches, It's automatically age and grade appropriate. Now, I could put in ology and I can put in a grade, and it will bring up just the ones that are age 3 or grades 3 to 5. So from 10 to or from 8 to 10 years old. But each activity, when you open it up, will tell the teacher on the right-hand side the appropriate grades for that activity. Does that answer your question at all?
Thank you, Toni. Thank you for your answer.
All right, another one that I want to show you is think along. So again, if you go to the Teach tab and go to Search, and then type in your word, I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to click Search. These are fabulous. This is a great area to look to see if there's anything focused on diversity and inclusion, if there's any activities focusing on that. And I love these because it has the students really think about topics, collecting facts, how to determine whether they're facts, trying to figure out the emotional appeal. Is it a biased speech? Is it a biased article? Is it leaving out a group of people when with this with all of this? So here are some of the topics. I'll show you a couple that I've used that has been very was amazing results with my students. Can data be unbiased? I don't know what's going on with my is access to water a human right? I'm going to open this one up just to demonstrate some of the incredible thinking skills and critical thinking and creativity training. And these would make, again, great type 1s for your students. Having your kids think about, is access to water a human right? Each one of these has a teacher guide. It has a graphic organizer that students can actually type their name, put in their thoughts and their words as they're working through the different media, and it saves it, and it saves the writing. So when I save this, I can come back and I can pick up and it'll remember everything that I've typed into it. It asks great questions. Who created this message? What creative techniques are used to attract my attention? What is this message? Why is it being sent? What lifestyles, values, what type of person is the reader and watcher? Who's being sold in this? What's being sold? Who is served? And this is what I love about these. In order for the students to be able to ask those questions, they can watch. Here is an example of the video.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here at the world famous Exploratorium in San Francisco. And before we get started, I need some water. Why am I?
So there's videos, there are podcasts that the students can listen to. Many Native Americans get clean water. Thinking deeper. There are research sites where the students can continue their research. and then contemplate all of the messaging that was sent to them. How would you, what's missing? What judgments or statements are made about how we treat other people? What ideas or perceptions are left out? How important is that for kids to think, okay, is this message meant for everybody? Or are they leaving out a group of people? And then finally being able to debate the pros and cons of the issue following their research. So I wanted to make sure that you saw those again. These are more for older kids. I have used them with 4th grade. But they're really great. I could even do them with younger kids, but I wouldn't send it to them. I would maybe just let them watch the video, you know, and then we talk about the video when they finished watching that. And we talk about access. Is water, clean water, everybody's right to have clean water in the world. So Think Along is another really amazing activity in Renzuli learning, and it makes a great type 1. And I do want to share this with you as well. I don't want to forget about language arts and reading. Lit2Go is one of my favorite sites because it's a great way to introduce my kids to fables, Aesop's fables, short stories, poetry, classic works of literature. What could be better? So I'm going to type in LIT, the number 2, and GO with no spaces. And then I'm going to click the search button. And I'm going to open one of these up. And once I open up Lit2Go, oh dear, they had issues the other day. I may have to show you this next week when we come back. Darn it. Let's see if I can get it to go. Yeah, they must be working on the site. They're adding new stuff. I had to call them last week but this is, I use this site all the time. I use it for Socratic seminars. I use this to introduce middle school kids to nursery rhymes, you know, like Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, things that they didn't even know about. So when we come back next week, we'll open that up and take a peek at that because like I said, it seems like once a week, I don't know if they're adding new sites or sometimes I'll even go. The reason I know it's not Renzuli Learning is I'll just type in Lit2Go. Let's see if I can get in it this way, because then I know if it's us, then I can let our curators know. But see, they're working on it, so it's not Renzuli. So what a great way to demonstrate to your kids all of the different genres of literature: fiction, nonfiction, short story, poetry, horror stories, you know, scary stories. So Lit2Go is just another fabulous type 1 for your kids. And then finally, I want to show you how you can search for some of your theme words for type 1 activities to share with your kids. So let's say, for example, you would like to type in inclusion. And you would like to find some activities for 3 to 5th grade. You can even put in, you know what? Is there any virtual field trips? Or let's see, creativity training or critical thinking? Maybe some online. So I'm going to look just for those. That's what I love about Renzuli Learning. I can tell Renzuli what I don't want to see. I don't want to see websites. I want to see some interactive, engaging things that I can share with my kids. So here's one, teaching tolerance. And this is for grades 3 to high school. I can also, let's try diversity. So here are some, all of these are potential type 1s, right? For you to share with your kids. Asian Pacific American heritage. Fun food facts from around the world. How cool would that be? I'd love to learn other people's cultures through food, right? So just some ideas on how you as the teacher can just use your search engine in finding activities for type 1s for you to introduce your kids to new things, different things. And not only maybe they already know it, but that maybe they didn't see it in the way you're going to present it. For example, Lit to Go. So I'm going to stop now, ask if you have any questions regarding Renzuli learning in type 1s or the profile that the students have to take before they can do anything. All right, well, I want to thank you all so very much for joining me today. I always enjoy my sessions with all of you. If you'll just, I'm going to type my email in the chat if you would like to reach out to me for any reason. I'll also put my cell phone in there.
And Toni, this is Connie, and we are so appreciative of your time sharing expertise. And we look forward to next Tuesday, same time, same place for type 2. And I may take just a moment to share screen when you're done there, Toni.
Yes, I'll stop sharing.
so
I actually have to leave right at 2. I have another session at 2 o'clock.
So we will see you, but everyone else, if you want to stay on for just a moment, I'll share the calendar. So Toni, see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye. Stay healthy, stay safe.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
so I'm going to share, if you'll just stay with us for a second here. This is where we are today with Renzuli Learning with Toni. So that was type 1, okay? On Thursday, Audrey will be talking about belonging. Whoops, it looks like I don't know what happened to my share screen, but we'll try that again. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. Can everyone see what I'm sharing? It's a calendar.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we
thank you.
can.
So on Thursday, whoops, I know what I'm doing. I'm clicking through the PowerPoint. Audrey will be sharing on Appalachia, again, same time. I believe that is 20 hours, your Central Europe time. So on Thursday, and then on Saturday, Joyce will be doing a lecture on diversity. So if you're interested in doing the student intervention, please check with Martina if you are in Italy, or with Joyce if you are in Texas, or with me, Connie, if you are in Kansas. And we'll get you going on that. Are there any other questions? We thank you for taking time. It's a snowy, cold day here in Kansas today. I hope it's a lot warmer where you are. Okay, if there are no other questions, then we'll plan to see you hopefully on Thursday. And remember, all of these videos will be posted on the YouTube channel, the Great Plains Center for Gifted Studies YouTube channel. So good to see everyone. And contact us if you need help in between the meetings, okay? Thank you, ciao, and bye, see you later, and see y'all down there in Texas, okay? All right, bye.